this episode of Sales Therapy, we're going to look at how to create a tender response document in the pension space. It is going to involve your content being in a clear and comprehensive manner. The next few minutes, I'm going to go through a suggested structure so that you can use it as a starting point, but do keep in mind that there may be specific requirements based on your tender request, so tailor this to your response accordingly. First off, a covering page. On that covering page, you're going to want to have a title for the tender response. If it is a company, then the company name. If you're giving the project a name, then give it the project's name. You want to include your company name and logo, any tender reference number, or anything along the line so people can understand or know how to find details of this. Finally, the date of submission, which should normally be the date you send it over, which would be normally the due date. Or before, if you really want to impress. It's important you understand your relationship here though. If you're new and you're first, it could mean that others get to see what you have shared ahead of time. The second section should be executive summary. With this, you should have a brief overview of your company, a summary of the proposal that you're submitting, and also a key highlights and benefits section. The idea of an executive summary is for people that are not connected to the project or shorter time. The executive summary allows them to have a brief look at it and say, yes, this is the company we want to go forward with. So in theory, this executive summary should be like your 30-second elevator pitch. The third section should be introduction. This is an introduction of your company in a bit more detail to that in the executive summary. A brief background on the tender, I think, is always great in here too. Include a timeline in this space using visuals if possible, which shows this is where we've come from. So these are the meetings we've had before. These are the meetings we expect to have after. Planting the seed is a long-term relationship and you believe you're getting to the next round. You should also always confirm receipt of the tender documents so that you know and they know that you've got everything you need to make this the best tender you can. And it's like for like with others. The fourth section would be understanding of the requirements. So within this space, there'll be confirmation of the understanding of the tender, that you know exactly what you need to do. You should include a section that details any clarifications or questions. You should list them within this section here. The fifth section would be company overview. We've already given them a background of your company, so you don't need to include that in here. However, relevant experience in both the pensions industry, including key achievements and milestones. If you also have a case study where you've implemented a project such as this, now's a good chance to showcase it. The sixth section is expertise. Within this section, give an overview of your team members, including headshots, people like to see who they're dealing with, their qualifications and experience, and any relevant certifications in the pensions domain. Again, this will be pivotal to showing you have the expertise to deliver the project to a high standard. Section 7 will be the methodology. Within this section will be a detailed explanation of your approach to meeting the tender requirements, including workflow and a project management plan. Finally, a timeline for the implementation. Technology and tools within Section 8 are going to give a description of the technology and tools we propose to use. But more than just listing them, we want to explain why they are pivotal to the project and how they will meet the need. Here is a time to showcase any tool you use for innovation, as this could stand you apart from the competition. Section 9, quality assurance. Within this section, please add details of your quality assurance processes, plus any certifications relating to quality standards in the pensions industry, detailed including attachments. Section 10 will be your financial proposal and will include a breakdown of costs associated with the project, including a clear pricing structure, plus detailing out where there may be any variable cost or optional costs that don't quite fit in the proposal they've asked for but would benefit the proposal. Case studies and references is section 11. As you know, we've already put a case study further up in the document. Here we want to showcase more case studies and references that align to this project. I believe 2 to 3 of these should suffice. Social proofing is one of the key aspects of winning new business. The more we can make people feel comfortable that we can deliver on this project, the better. References make people feel comfortable, as does proof you have implemented within the competition previously. So if you've done that, even more points. Section 12 is compliance and legal. Within this space, confirmation of what the compliance and tender requirements are and any legal considerations or certifications that are required would have been noted further to this study. But this is a good place to have all of them summarized. So when it gets into the hands of compliance officers, they know exactly where to look. Section 13 looks at risk management. And this is the identification of potential risks which are apparent with this project, including any mitigation strategies and contingency plans, so they know you've got your plan A, B, C, and where appropriate, D. Section 14 would be your terms and conditions within this space, include your proposed terms and conditions, plus any deviations or special conditions that you couldn't quite meet within the project plan, send over. Finally, a conclusion. Use the conclusion as a summary of key points and expressions of your interest. Show your enthusiasm for the project. Make sure to thank people for their time and for getting through the document, as it will be quite a long read. Again, this is also your 30-second elevator pitch, so get it nailed. To follow, appendices, including any additional supporting documents, i.e. resumes, certifications, legislations and such like, include all charts and graphs. I always find using graphs or charts with your main document, enlarge these and put them into place. It just looks good and no one ever says, oh my god, that's too big. Final page can be contacting information, including contact details for the person responsible for the tender process, as well as any additional contact information required. This is how I would structure a request for proposal document, specifically looking in the pensions arena. The bits that are important are reading the request for proposal to make sure you can do it. If you can't do it and you're not all in, then qualify out, as it's going to be quite a long process and one that will take up a lot of your time. Hopefully you find this useful. Top 5 key takeaways: nail your elevator pitch, understand the tender request, ask questions ahead of time, use visual aids where appropriate, qualify in and out. Remember to carefully review the tender documentation for any specific requirements and ensure that your response addresses each point. Good luck with your tender. I'll detail out the pages with a brief synopsis on the left hand side of this, or right, depending on how you're looking at it, and on my Medium account. Have a good day.